The Prism and the Void. In the city of Oakhaven, where the architecture was as sharp as a winter's chill, lived Dorian. He resided in a penthouse made of polished obsidian and silvered glass. Dorian did not look out at the world to see its beauty. He looked at the world to see how it reflected him. To Dorian, other people were merely mirrors, meant to be polished until they showed him the version of himself he loved most, the sun around which all things orbited. Far below, in the humming markets where the scent of jasmine mingled with the exhaust of hovering trams, lived Linnea. Linnea was a creature of porous edges. She didn't just see the world. She felt the tectonic shifts of a stranger's sorrow and the quiet hum of a child's joy. She was a super empath, a woman who carried a reservoir of light that she used to mend the frayed threads of the people she passed. They met on a day when the sky was the color of a bruised plum. Dorian saw Linnea's light from across the plaza and recognized it immediately, not as a soul to know, but as a fuel to consume. He approached her with a mask of practiced vulnerability, casting himself as a lonely king in search of a muse. Linnea, sensing a profound, aching hollow within him, felt her heart open like a flower in the rain. The early days were a dizzying dance of mimicry. Dorian learned the melody of Linnea's kindness and hummed it back to her. He told her she was the only one who truly understood the depths of his soul. Linnea, intoxicated by the idea of healing such a magnificent, broken thing, poured her energy into him, unaware that she was filling a vessel with a hole in the bottom. Slowly, the mask began to slip, revealing the jagged edges beneath. Dorian grew jealous of the light Linnea gave to others. He began to weave a web of subtle doubts, telling her that her empathy was a weakness, a flaw that made her too sensitive for the real world. He wanted her light all for himself, tucked away in his dark penthouse where no one else could see it. Linnea felt herself fading. The vibrant colors she once saw in the streets turned to shades of gray. She was so busy absorbing Dorian's constant demands for validation and his cold bursts of silent treatment that she forgot how to breathe for herself. She sat in the silence of their shared home, feeling like a ghost in a house of mirrors, her own reflection growing thinner every day. The breaking point came when Linnea tried to share her own pain. When she spoke of her exhaustion, Dorian did not offer a hand. He offered a lecture on how her negativity was ruining his day. He twisted her words until she was apologizing for being hurt. In that moment, through the fog of his gaslighting, Linnea saw the void clearly, a hunger that could never be satisfied. Linnea realized that her empathy was not a weakness to be cured, but a superpower to be guarded. She stopped trying to fill Dorian's void, and instead turned her focus inward. She began to gather the scattered shards of her light, knitting them back together with the thread of self-preservation. The gray mist around her began to burn away as she remembered who she was before she became his mirror. When Dorian tried to pull her back into the cycle with a false apology, Linnea didn't argue. She didn't cry. She simply stood her ground and reflected his own darkness back at him. She held up a boundary as clear and unbreakable as diamond. Dorian, unable to see the flattering reflection he craved, recoiled in horror. Without her light to hide behind, he was forced to look at his own emptiness. Linnea walked out of the penthouse and back into the hum of the city. The colors returned, more vivid than ever, because now she knew how to filter the light. Dorian remained in his tower, surrounded by mirrors that showed him nothing but a man who had forgotten how to love anything he couldn't own. Linnea breathed in the jasmine and the exhaust, her heart beating in rhythm with the world once more.